Did you know that one of the most famous Stoic thinkers built his strength while almost everything around him was falling apart? His name was Epictetus, and his story did not begin in a peaceful school or a rich home. He was born into slavery in the Roman world, and from the start, his life was controlled by other people. He did not choose where he lived, what he did, or how he was treated. Even his body carried the marks of hardship, because ancient sources suggest that he may have had a physical disability. His room could have been bare, cold, and broken, but his face stayed still, because he was slowly learning a truth that would outlive the empire around him. He lived in Rome as the property of a powerful man named Epictetus, who had once been a slave himself and later served the emperor Nero. That fact alone tells you how strange and brutal that world could be. A person could rise in rank and still keep another person in chains. Epictetus grew up inside that hard reality, where comfort was uncertain and safety could disappear in a moment. He had every reason to become bitter, angry, and crushed by fear. Instead, he became curious about the one thing nobody seemed able to fully take from him, which was the way he judged what happened to him. At some point, he began to study philosophy, especially the ideas that would later make him famous. Stoicism taught that human beings cannot control most of life. They cannot control illness, loss, power, war, exile, weather, or the choices of cruel people. They can only control their own mind, their own actions, and their own response. That sounds simple when life is easy, but Epictetus learned it when life was not easy at all. He was not sitting in comfort, giving pretty advice to other people. He was living inside pressure, pain, and uncertainty, and he was testing each idea against real suffering. One old story, whether perfectly exact or not, became famous because it captured how people understood him. It says that while his master was twisting his leg, Epictetus calmly warned him that it would break. Then, when it did break, he simply said that he had told him so. The story matters because of what it shows. He was not pretending pain did not hurt. He was showing that another person could damage his body without ruling his inner life. In a broken room, under cold light, with everything that usually gives a person pride or safety stripped away, he was building a kind of freedom that looked almost invisible from the outside. Eventually, Epictetus gained his freedom, but his troubles did not end there. Rome itself became dangerous for philosophers. In the year 89, the Emperor Domitian ordered philosophers out of the city. Just like that, whatever home, stability, and future he had built could be torn apart again. He was forced into exile and left Rome for Nicopolis in northwestern Greece. Many people would have seen that moment as the final proof that life had beaten them. He treated it as another lesson. If peace depends on a place, then exile destroys peace. If peace depends on status, then loss destroys peace. But if peace depends on character, then even exile becomes material for strength. In Nicopolis, he started teaching, and students came to hear him speak. He did not write books himself, at least none that survive. What we know comes mostly from a student named Arrian, who wrote down his talks in works now called the Discourses and the Enchiridion, which means handbook. Those words lasted because they were sharp, clear, and grounded in real life. He told people not to waste themselves chasing what they could never secure. He told them to train desire, discipline fear, and stop calling every painful event a personal disaster. He believed that suffering often begins twice, once in the event itself, and again in the story people tell themselves about it. That is why his calm feels different from empty toughness. He was not cold because he felt nothing. He was steady because he had practiced separating what happens from what it means. He could lose comfort, position, and control over the outside world, and still refuse to lose judgment, dignity, and self-command. That kind of strength is quiet, and maybe that is why it still feels powerful. It does not beg for attention. It does not need applause. It grows in silence, inside the part of a person that no ruined room can fully reach. His whole world did fall apart more than once, first through slavery, then through pain, then through exile, and still he became stronger. Not louder, not harder, not more cruel, just stronger. He turned loss into training and uncertainty into discipline. Long after emperors lost their power and palaces turned to dust, people still read the words shaped by his life. That may be the most stoic ending possible. The man with almost nothing left behind, a way of thinking that still helps people stand still when their own world starts breaking. If you want real strength, start where Epictetus started, with the part of life that is still yours.